Hello and welcome to episode 180 of Gamers of the Lost Spark podcast. I'm your host, Stuart Burgess, and joining me as always is the other spark on the pod, Mr. Stephen Carter.
Hello, mate. How are we doing? You okay?
I am good after taking about 17 goes at starting this podcast.
It's always the
I'm
hardest
now
part,
alright.
mate. It's the hardest part. Once you're over that, it's plain sailing from there, though. Hopefully, anyway.
Well, it's always one of those funny things, isn't it? Because you've got it in front of you, and I always maintain that it's a mouthful. Gamers of the Lost Spark podcast. So, but I've never wanted to change it because it's sort of like taking over from Darren, taking over from Anthony, and it's sort of like it's a bit nostalgic. So I don't want to change the name, but it is always a bit of a put your teeth in type of thing.
Yeah, and it's always, I feel like you've got the pressure when you're reading from a script, especially you're thinking in your head, don't mess it up, don't mess it up, don't mess it up. And then that inevitably just makes you mess it up even more. So, but we're here, mate. We got through it. We got through it.
We're a few days later because I couldn't get back on time on Wednesday. So I'm hoping this is Saturday night as we record. So I'm hoping that I'm going to edit this tomorrow, Sunday, and then get it up Sunday. So if it's a couple of days late, sorry, Anthony. I'm sorry you missed your Saturday podcast or even your Sunday podcast whilst doing your Sunday roast. I apologise for that, but blame my work. I didn't get home in time.
Yeah, you've been a busy boy this week, so hopefully he'll forgive us.
Yeah, no, he'll get over it. He'll get over it. So, what have you been playing? Obviously, we played something the other night together, but let's do that first. So, we jumped on Fortnite duos the other day for the first time, and that was a right good laugh. That was.
Yeah, it was really good fun actually, and it kind of took me back to the time, like I said, when I used to play during COVID with some pals and what have you. So yeah, that was a really bit fun. So I had a bit of unexpected time off. So I said to you, if you're about, we'll jump on, and you were working from home, which worked out quite nicely. And I think probably the best part of what, 2.5 hours maybe.
Yeah, it was about 2 hours.
Quite a while.
Yeah, I think we jumped on. I think we jumped on at about 1:45, and it was a good sort of nearly 4 o'clock when you had to go off and do your father duties, but no, it was good. I was laughing and chuckling to myself for the whole night afterwards. Where the first thing that we did when we landed at the fortress or wherever we landed was jump on each other's shoulders, because there was an achievement or there was some points for jumping on shoulders in duo. So there's like Steve in the corner going, "Quick, jump on mine," and then I turn around and go, "Jump on mine."
All the while surrounded by people shooting and firing on us. But yeah, it's quite good though, because I've still slowly got into it, but I had a quick blast before we recorded tonight as well. But I feel like I'm definitely back in on the hype now. But yeah, because there's quite a few quests that I hadn't done up until that point. I was racing through levels. I think I'm about level 44 now, and I think I was at lowly 20s when we jumped on yesterday. So I'm absolutely flying. But yeah, just ticking quests off, trying to find the cubes, do the little bits and pieces, just having a laugh. And most importantly, Stu, getting those rivalries up. That's what we need to work on.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, I haven't looked to see what the list is. I'll try. I might bring it up in a second whilst you're doing your part. But I think I'm at something like 220, 230 now. I've been quite busy, so I've jumped in and played a couple, but I've not been caning it like I was. But yeah, it's good to see you're heading in the right direction. But even like not looking at the leaderboard on the internet, I was looking at people that were coming up in my group, because last time I really sort of played it was probably about a week. It was probably last weekend actually, and I was pretty much top. I was always the top person in the group on Rivals, and I noticed today I had a look, and there are just what I would call normal players in there who are 3, 4, 500, and I'm still at sort of 230. But I don't know. It's the Rivals, I enjoy it, but it has lost its little bit of its edge for me. The only way I'm still enjoying it is I get the Rivals. It's a good laugh. And I was doing like I did the last time we podded, which is, land in New Sanctuary, and then literally spend the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes just caning anybody who lands there and getting some points before I have to dissipate. And then, of course, that unlocks the better guns. So you've got better guns, well, some better guns. We found the one yesterday wasn't that good, but that's sort of what I've been up to.
Yeah, I think it's like one of the mythic assault rifle of some capacity. Which I picked them both up today actually on my little game that I had. I picked that up, and the boom sniper. So I picked those both up, and it seemed to do all right, but it's not the most accurate thing for a mythic level weapon. But yeah, it was just a good laugh. Do you know what I mean? And it was nice just to do that again because I think when you're playing on your own, it can be quite a bit of a lonely thing to do unless you're playing in duos, trios, squads, that sort of thing, and actually talking amongst who you're playing with. But yeah, it was quite nice to go back to that actually, just having a good laugh. Wilton time, obviously we wanted to win. We didn't win. I think the second we came was the best, wasn't it, in the end? So we came quite high in quite a few of them. Um, but yeah, it was just nice to just lose track of time. Do you know what I mean? Like say, we had to just I had to hurry off to go do the nursery run, but it was just nice to jump in and yeah, just forget about it. You know what I mean? Just jump in, have a good time.
It was good because to say like you know I don't. I mean, I think last time I probably played online properly with other people was when the Sparks jumped into Forza, you know, which we're hoping to do
Mm.
again with six coming out. But when the Sparks jumped into Forza, but it was quite nice to just have a chat. What are you up to? What's your week been like? You know,
Mm.
plus actually just having a giggle really. That was what was fun. It was
Yeah.
just 2 hours of just like having a laugh. Oh, he's over there, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever. It was just a good giggle.
Yeah, it was, and it's just a nice, like you say, right, albeit you're not together, but it feels like you're almost in the same room, just having a nice catch up with people, like over a drink or two or what have you. And we have said that it'd be good to include that as as an addition to the show at some point. Just have a bit of either a streaming or a recording of us playing and gaming together to watch how bad we both are at some stuff. But yeah, it's just nice. It's just nice. It'd be good to play some other stuff as well that if there's out that's co-op or like Forza, like you say, when that comes out, other bits and pieces that are coming up as well. But yeah, for now, I think if we can just duo up on Fortnite every now and again, it'll be just nice to team up and just see what havoc we can cause, basically.
Well, I just brought up the showdown.fortnite.com. Would you like to hasten a guess based on the leaderboard? I have 206. Based on the leaderboard, how many kills do you think first position has got?
What is this worldwide? Is global, yeah?
This is worldwide. So this is the leaderboard as in global on the Fortnite website.
Jeez, I can't even remember how many we said last time. 15,000.
Close. I mean, to be honest, I'm going to say I'm actually surprised it's not more, because we haven't podded for what's it, about 2.5 weeks, I think it is, and I think back then it was 10-ish thousand. But the top person in the world has got 20,802 rivals, with second place being 900 behind them at 19,900, and then third place onwards, it's minimal, really, really minimal to how it's jumping up in hundreds, if less. So, and some of them have got a little cup symbol next to them. So I don't know whether that's the top 10 or the top 20 or something like that. So, but yeah, so 20. So let's just say 21,000 if you were trying to win, which we're nowhere near.
I'd have to work that out. Like, how many is that a day? How many is that a game? You know what I mean? It's just like, again, you say these are normal people. Like, if they are, that is, if they're just, not a streamer, not a YouTuber, not a competitive player, that's someone who's like, must be minted that somewhere just literally just sat in the bedroom or the basement or something, played all day, every
Well,
day.
there is a creator tab, and the creator tab, which I think I've closed it now. I think it was 19,500. Yeah, 19,500. So if the creators are not up there, so yeah, that's either someone who hasn't got a job and is playing a lot of Fortnite, or as you say, is a streamer, or a passionate, let's work for 5 hours and let's stream for 19 and not sleep for a month.
Yeah, no, I dread to even think what that equates to, but that's just nuts. But yeah, I think I'm up to, I think 39. I think it is now after I finished my game just
Yeah.
before we came on. So rookie, very rookie numbers still. But yeah, it's just nice, like you say, just to jump in, get some early kills on board. Later in the game, it can obviously help but hinder you because it shows your location. So when it's getting to the end game, it can be a bit tricky because you can't really hide anymore. Albeit it just gives you a rough area, but still, somebody knowing that you're in that general area gives them a hint of where you are. So, Yeah, it's just a nice addition. It is nice, and I think this is it's like there's different stages over the season, isn't there? So there's different.
Yeah, I think it's just got into sort of like the second act. So there's a new rivalry now. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've not paid a huge amount of attention to it apart from there's new challenges and some new characters.
Mm.
But no, I mean, I've enjoyed it. I enjoy the rivals because, you could, worst case, you can go to the board, you can select a rival, and then you can get some revitalizing sprays or glugs or things like that. So even if you're going for a win, then you can go to the rivals board, do your dailies for rivals, get more achievements, but also pick up some first aid equipment for when you sort of do get towards the last 5, the last 10. But as I say, when I was playing earlier, because I've now unlocked Bugs Bunny, so my life is now complete. I have unlocked Bugs Bunny. I've just got to go and unlock Bugs Bunny in his Space Jam outfit, I think is the next one. So
Yeah.
yeah. My life is complete. I decided tonight I would jump in and play as Bugs Bunny, but I went in to do my dailies, and when you do your dailies, it can be sometimes be really, really quick, and you basically do it like within 5 minutes of landing. Tonight, I think it took me 7 games to get my dailies done because it was just giving me really weird things, and I just must have hit it when other people were playing. And some good people were playing as well. So I was getting a bit annoyed. And then I just got my points, not rage quitted, but got my points. Went, right, that's it. I'll be back tomorrow. So what else have you been playing then? Have you been playing anything else?
Yeah, so I've got a couple of games. So I played and finished. Thank goodness you're here. The other week, so I've finished. I've finally played it. So which actually, Stu, I'm going to make a point here. I used my Microsoft points to buy Thank goodness you're
Hey,
here. Yep, and we said we were going to do a little tally for you, didn't we? So we were going to have a little catch up. So should we just briefly segue to your
go on in. Go on in. So yeah,
Microsoft points update?
I decided to do a Microsoft Points update because I'd had a few questions from people about the Microsoft Points and how you earn them and things like that. So fundamentally, the reward points I earn in 2 ways. So I've got the big app on my phone. So every morning when I get up, it's become get up, let the dog in the garden, let myself in the toilet, put the coffee on, sit down on the sofa, switch the Xbox on, put it on a game for 15 minutes. I just literally sit it on a game for 15 minutes. Then I get that point that way. If I'm thinking about it, I'll also switch the ROG on and put that on a game for 15 minutes. Then I'll go onto the big app and then I'll, check in on the big app, do the daily questions and things like that. And it basically builds up over time. So, I mean, I'll get on into a minute, but I bought another game this week, or a couple of games this week. Of course, you do earn a few points on that as well. That we're going to talk about story later that I bought the old version of, and I got like I think it's 300, 400, 500 points. But as of now, because I worked it out about an hour before we come on pod. So Stuart's points update. My current total is 718,704. So that equates to £579.69. I'm hoping and praying that the price of the Helix, the Xbox Helix, is going to be, let's say, around about £700. I know I'm probably, shooting in the wind to say whatever. I think it's going to be an extra 2 or 3 more on that. But let's say based on good knowledge that it's going to be £700. So I need to get 867,000. Well, just round it up. So 868,000 points. So I've got 718. I need 670 ish. So that means that I need to get just under, or just over, 149,000 points. Based on if it's going to come out holiday 2027, I need, which is 637 days away, I need to earn 234 points a day. There you go.
Quite a simple equation when you work it out, really. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and to be honest, that's actually quite achievable. I mean, if it's going to be 637 days to December, I think it was the 1st December 2027. okay, 237 points a day if you're just doing Bing and Microsoft is not that achievable. Is not achievable ish. But if you then counter in that you get your you get your bonuses. So if you play a Game Pass game every day of the week, you get a bonus at the end of the week. So when I get towards the end of the week on a Saturday or Sunday, or across a Saturday and Sunday, I could easily unlock 1,000 points. Um,
Yeah.
and also, I have put a link in the description. So there is a little referral code. So two things. If you want to help me buy my next project, then basically if you sign up for Big and you use it for 2 days, I get 500 points. Thank you very much. Please support the podcast. But I will also, if I have any points spent left over. So let's say it does come out at £700 and I end up getting £800 for it. So what I will do is I will spend the rest of the points on some Xbox vouchers and then we'll give those away on the pod. So if anybody's listening to this and wants to give it a go, use the link in the description and sign up to Bing, go onto the Xbox, do your rewards on your Xbox. I think you need to be at certain levels of Game Pass. But help me help you win some vouchers.
Cynically, could we not just set up a load of new email addresses and use your referral code?
Well, yeah, you
Could
could.
we
You
do
could.
that?
Well, you potentially with a VPN. Yeah, you could. You could basically go in and set up, Steve1 at Gmail, Steve2 at Gmail, Steve3 at Gmail. I haven't got time to do
That'd be a
that,
shout.
so feel free to do it if you want.
500 points a pop, mate. Keep
Honestly,
going.
I'll be
Keep
back in a
going.
minute.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's. I mean, it's a hell of a lot of points. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking at mine. I spent my points on a voucher, which I spent to use on Thank Goodness You're Here, which is where we segued from.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm looking at mine at the moment. Where is it? Let me just get the app up here. I just had it open. So I'm at a lowly 6,120. So a £10 gift card is 12,400. So I'm a little bit a ways away from that, getting that again. But yeah, looking at it, you get, if you open the app, you get 10 points for playing Duel, 20 for playing a PC game, 20 for playing a console game, 50 points for using the app. There's your weekly PC bonus, there's your weekly console bonus, there's play a Game Pass game, there's your weekly streak, there's a monthly 4 pack and monthly 8 pack. So between all that lot, you can, there is earning potential, plus like the Bing searches and other bits and pieces like that. So yeah, it's a possibility, mate. We'll see. At end of next year, we'll soon find out.
honestly, joking aside, they do build up quite quickly because I can't remember when it was, but I remember messaging you guys. I'll have a look if I can find it. I'll put it on the screen now. If you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. But I remember messaging you guys and saying I finally broke 700,000. And now I'm at 700, well, nearly 719,000. So that's 19,000 points in. I want to say maximum a month.
It really doesn't seem that far away. Even in sort of the short, maybe pre-discussion of starting the pod, which is start of this year, and then February, March time. It doesn't seem like a long time ago, to be fair. So, but yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see what they do with the points. Between then and now, the worth, the accruing of them, how you accrue them. Obviously, they reduced the value or the amount that you can redeem, didn't they? Or you can earn recently, didn't they? So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that again.
They are nerfing it a little bit, which is a bit
Mm.
annoying. So
Yeah. So we will see. We will see. But circling back to what we've been playing, so
yeah,
I feel like we need a little jingle for your like Stuart's points updates. We might need a little bit of music or something in future. But yeah,
I'll,
we'll
I'll
we'll
I'll make
circle
I'll
back
make
around.
something up. I'll go on to Epidemic Sounds and see if I can find a little like news jingle or something like that.
But yeah, we going back to what we've been playing. So yes, thank goodness you're here, which I picked up with said Xbox points. So it's been out. I want to say a couple of years now, maybe. It's been out a little while, hasn't it? But it was it just on PlayStation, I think, and it's just come to Xbox recently.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
not on
Yeah,
Game Pass. Obviously, it's on the store. Um, Honestly, one of the most bizarre video games I've played in a long time, yet also the most accurate yet satirical at the same time. Like it's a very tongue-in-cheek satirical take on fictional town called Barnsworth, which is Barnsley in South Yorkshire, which is
I was to
about
say, is
20.
it? It's on Yorkshire, isn't it? Basically,
Yes, it is. It's
right?
20, 30 minutes from where I am. Like I'm like I part of our postcode neighbours to South Yorkshire to Barnsley, so it's not far away at all. And I was playing it. I played it on sofa, and I kept saying, "What is this nonsense that you're playing? Like, what is this?" I was like, "It's just ridiculous. It's madness. It is mental. You know, fundamentally, it's a news reporter that's come to report on this little town called Barnsworth." And he ends up going around seeing different people, different parts of life, helping people out. Honestly, walk around punching pigeons in the face. You're helping somebody repair a fryer for a fish shop. You're flying down chimneys, covering people's living rooms in soot. You're trying to get something from a guy in a vegetable shop that's gone mental because he's got shape of an egg, head shaped like an egg. Honestly, it's hilarious. You can tell that it's like it must be written by people that are local. I haven't looked into it, but it must be written by people that are A, from the area, or B, know the area very, very well. Because it's like whilst it's satirical, it's one of those things. It's like I can believe this happening. Like some of
It's
this stuff, I
spot
can
on.
actually
Yeah,
believe. Yeah, I can believe people saying this. So, like you just listen to the dialogue. There's people arguing about wheelie bins. It's like that literally happens. Like there's have you touched my wheelie bin? I've not touched your wheelie bin. That's touched my wheelie. But do you know what I mean? It's like this is a genuine conversation that would happen somewhere in that area. So yeah, but it only lasts about 3 4 hours, maybe five at the most, maybe if you're doing all the exploration. I finished it once and I think I came away with maybe 400 500 gamer points,
right.
game score. So I'm about halfway through. So if you go back, there's probably a lot of Easter eggs or other bits and pieces that I've missed because there are little things that you miss, like if you kick bins, like rats start coming out and singing, and you have to find so many of them. The one for doing like knock a door run if you knock on every door in game, and it's like I just trying to work around punching everything because the guy's literally just walking around punching stuff like say punching pigeons, you're punching moles, just other people. It's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers, and it's one of them that I, I can't. I mean, I think I paid £4 or £5 after my voucher, so I think it's
Oh,
about
really?
15 quid.
Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's not an expensive game and it's not a long game. Like if it was mobile, this could quite easily be a mobile game because it's not very long. It wouldn't be very taxing either. So it'd be perfect for like the ROG or a handheld. You know what I mean? Just something to play on the move. I'd strongly recommend it, even if you're not like from Yorkshire like I am. It's just utter nonsense. Like it is absolute nonsense, but it's hilarious at the same time. And I think everyone pretty much in our podcast group was saying it's like I think it was Manny. I think he said
Yeah.
it's like the funniest games he's played in a long time. And I was creasing at some points. I was like, this is just bonkers. It's hilarious. Loved it, and I will go play it again. I would 100% go back and play it again.
I'll have to jump. I'll have to jump in. I'm just thinking. All I've got to say, when they say like with the Forza where they basically get playground. They go and visit a country, like they go to Australia or they go to Japan and they spend months out there filming the clouds. And
Hmm.
I wonder if it's not a local company in Yorkshire that did this, whether the development team came over to Yorkshire for like 2 months and experienced what life in Yorkshire is like. Because
Maybe.
it's like to get the voices and how the pigeons are, pixel perfect. But you would have heard it on the news going, we went this crazy place and we got these crazy people and we've made this crazy game.
Yeah. Well, there's even like some old school footage included part way through of like from it must be Barnsley, but again, just like old, like newsreels, video footage, from back in the day, as you'd say. But yeah, it's great. It's like I say, it's steeped completely in satire, but it's almost like that little peek behind the curtain of this is actually what life can be like up here because we do get a rap. You always do get that rap of there's somebody on a TV. Oh, they always speak to that thick northern idiot. And yep, yeah, they are. Yeah, they'll have that token idiot, and they will be from up north somewhere because they usually are, and they always are. But yeah, it was just yeah, I loved it. Like I say, don't take. There's not a lot going on in terms of requiring your attention. You're just going from point to point and doing bits and pieces. It's like pretty much side scrolling and moving, and the idea is that you walk in somewhere and go, oh, thank goodness you're here, and you have to help them solve like the fryer's broken in the chip shop, or they had to. I can't remember what it was now, but you had to go to that vegetable shop and try and you'd calm him down because he's gone mental. There's about meat. There's a lot of meat references of food and drink, and yeah, all sorts. So yeah, it's thoroughly recommended. Thoroughly recommended, especially if you just like random nonsense. Yeah, I haven't laughed at a video game like that in a long, long time.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out. I can't see who the developer are. Cold Supper are the
That's it. Yeah,
developer.
it says it on the way in, but it's like even the title
Oh yeah,
screen.
no. Here you go. Cold Supper. We're Cold Supper, a creative studio from Yorkshire, UK. We made the Good Times Garden, and then we made Thank Goodness You're Here. So yes, they are very much Yorkshire based.
Yeah, we'll have to get in touch and see whereabouts they are. See if we can go arrange a visit maybe and have a look. But yeah, it's even the title screen just reminded me. It's like is that from round here? And it's like there's one that answers like round corner, and one of them's like what? Like it's just like that. It's just that's how people talk. There are people like if I'm around other people that have got a strong Yorkshire accent, I just feel myself sliding more and more and more broad Yorkshire as I go along. So yeah, it's good fun. It was good fun.
It looks like a game. Thank goodness you're here is one of those ones where you can just pick it up, play it like when one of your boys is not particularly happy, you could just cuddle them and hold it, hold the controller type thing, or you could just play a little bit of it, and you're not having to. I mean, you're going to get onto another game in a minute, which I've just started playing as well. But I feel that I need to give it some time to get into it, and it's not something I feel like I just dip in and out of for 20 minutes when I'm on my lunch break, or I've got the ROG in the car whilst I'm at work type of thing.
Yeah, this is it, and we were chatting about this when we were playing yesterday. Is that obviously it's the beauty of Game Pass is that you can flip through games that otherwise you might not play, and you spend 20 minutes playing it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. I did a few this month where a couple that we mentioned in one of the last pods. I had a brief dabble in Super Meat Boy 3D. Played that for about 15 minutes. Instantly turned it off. Like,
Same here,
nope.
same
Yep,
with
did
Anthony
not
as well.
enjoy
I
it.
think,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
was
think that was a resounding
looking
universal.
so looking forward to it, and unfortunately so disappointed with it. It was like, oh, this
Mm.
is good. Oh, I like this, and then the hardness just elevates so quickly after about 3 or 4 levels that I'm just like, no, not for me, not for me.
Yeah.
No, delete, get rid of.
Yeah, and that's the and thankfully you've not wasted any money. And it sounds awful that, but you've not wasted like even if it's 10, 15 quid, it's not money that you've wasted. Oh God, I didn't really enjoy that, especially with the digital as well. But I did that. Riders Republic, which was a Ubisoft one, like no, didn't really enjoy that either. But yeah,
Yeah,
then replaced, which Anthony put on our collective radars. He put in the chat that only went live a couple of days ago with a couple of the titles. Um, so he recommended it. So we said, "Oh, we'll both try and play a bit. Give us something to talk about." I'm a lot further in it than what you are.
yeah,
I think I've played maybe about 3.5 hours, something like that. So I don't know how long the game is in total. But yeah, I've been playing it, streaming pretty much whilst I've been at work. Um,
right.
in,
On the
in my
iPad.
in my downtime, and then just in bed and other bits and pieces. So yeah, but it's I don't really understand what's going on, if I'm being completely honest. It's one of these games, it's a little side scrolling adventure game set in some sort of dystopian future. Some sort of evil corporations clearly working on like cybernetics, human experimentation, that sort of thing. Premise is that you're one of the people that's working in there. You're in this almost like augmented reality VR thing, and then it overloads and fries. And I think it's the AI that basically breaks you out, and you escape, and you're running away,
Yeah,
and then you find this underground movement, and so on and so forth. And then you're trying then to take down the establishment, the company, the corporation that you once worked for. Um, it's a very old school aesthetic, which again, this is a perfect game for the ROG for portable gaming. It looks really, really good. It's got really nice neon coloring and lighting, and it's got really good, environmental detail. It's got a great feel to it, albeit it's got that old school pixelated appearance. So it's if you pick this up and plonked it, back in the what sort of Mega Drive days, something like that, it wouldn't look amiss because it's that sort of pixelated square
it's
blocky.
just got hints, isn't it? It's just got hints of like every now and again, like when I was playing it right at the beginning, your character sort of fell over, or part of the cutscene was it fell down, and then the camera went out of focus, and then it sort of focused on you, and so it's got sort of hints of sort of modern era type games consoles, and it's sort of like very shiny around the edges. But no, I'm just looking on courtesy of the Games Rant website. They're saying it is main story is about 5 to 10 hours to do just the main story, to sort of steam through it, sort of short and sweet on if you play easy difficult level 1. If you want to get to 100% completion, which is play all 9 chapters by the looks of it, it's about 10 to 15 hours. So yeah, it's a good length game. You say about the ROG, I played it on the ROG, and I had my glasses on, and I was struggling to read the text. And so much so that when I went back and played it about a day later or something on the Xbox, it hadn't done. I think it's because I was in the car when I played it at work. It had backed itself up to the cloud, so I sort of lost the 40 minutes or whatever I played. So it started right at the point again at the beginning, and I'm like, cool, I can read the text now because I'm on my 77-inch TV and not my ROG with my glasses on. But no, I mean, I'm probably about an hour into it. I've got out, I've done the jumping over logs, fighting a few people, and I'm enjoying it. I am really, really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to get back into it. So, yeah, no, it is a good little game.
Yeah, it is, and it's one of them. I think I said to you yesterday. I think it's one of them. I'm enjoying it. I'm not going to rave about it. It's a nice little game. I think I said in the group, it's almost like a combination of old school games like Flashback, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, Beast Rider, that sort of thing. Because you move in and out of. It's almost 2.5D, I think they call it. It's like you can move in and out of the foreground, the background. You've got a bit of combat, puzzle solving, bit of platforming to do. I think it's one of them games actually. When you look at it, I love how it like the camera sways between sections. So when you're off the screen, the camera like pans between sections. I really quite like that. And when you look at the depth of some of the levels, it almost looks like one of them games that would have worked very nice in like that brief 3D era that we had. So if you played this in 3D, I think it would have looked quite nice in that, because it's almost like them old school, like I can't remember what they're called now, where the scenes like the staggered, but it looked 3D. It's almost like it's been layered.
Yeah, there's a few bits where I was sort of walking along and there was a relic or whatever to pick up, and I'm like, I need to go up to get that, but it's not. You automatically detect it's there because you've walked past it, and then it picks it up on its. Is it a Walkman? He has a Walkman, doesn't he, with all the tunes on and all the bits and pieces on. But no, I mean it's a lovely looking game, perfect for handheld. Perfect for iPad if you're streaming it, and then obviously on the TV it's a lot bigger if you've got bad eyesight like me.
Yeah, that's it. And it's one of them that you do need to read it and watch what's going on, because there isn't any dialogue. It's all text. It's all scrolling text. So anything that happens as part of the story, you don't get any voice acting or anything like that. So you do need to pay attention to it. So yeah, like you say, if you struggle to see on a small screen, play it on a bigger screen so you can read the subtitles and see what's going on.
And if you don't like watching foreign movies where you have to read the subtitles, you might not like it as well.
Yeah,
but no,
it's not for you.
No, it's not for you. But say that it's a game. It's probably one of those games that you could easily put. I'd say you could put the podcast on whilst watching it, and you could listen to us two idiots talk about gaming whilst you're playing Replaced. It's that type of game. It's the type of game that when we did the podcast before, Anthony said to us, "I need to listen to more games," because he would play a certain game and then listen to podcast and then realize that he's missing the text or missing the audio. So no, definitely a good one. I've been playing. So I kept my streak of buying games that I really don't like and then asking for a refund. So which I thought was so obviously the first one was Satisfactory, which was very unsatisfactory for me. But I am going to go back and try it because they didn't give me a refund for it because I think I played it too much. But people are scoring it like 9 out of 10 and all of that. So I think I might just go in and delete my save and start again. I might do that.
Yeah.
But
go with a fresh pair of eyes.
Yeah, there was another game. There was another game called Ready or Not, which was you're basically a member of a SWAT team. And I kept on looking at it, I think before Christmas, and I'm thinking, oh, this is quite good. You know, you're part of a SWAT team. I quite often watch the TV program SWAT, you know, because ironically it's on at about 4 o'clock in the morning. So quite often when I get up, have my cup of coffee, and I'm not watching the news and getting bored with what's going on in the world, I put that on and I'm watching that. And so I went into it and I'm like, okay, this is good. It's almost so like you're a team leader, you know, you go in and it's all tactical. So it's like there's a person in there, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. It's not like COD or Fortnite or Battlefield where you can almost just run and gun it. So I thought, well, okay, let's do the tutorial. I think there was an achievement for doing the tutorial as well. So I thought, let's do the tutorial. And oh my God, I got so fed up with the tutorial in respects of just like I've heard a lot of people say I think it is Crimson Desert, which a lot of people are saying that the control system is just like weird. You know, you have to do this sequence to bring this thing up, and this was it. You go through a typical. If you've ever played like the opening training segments to Call of Duty, you go through like a compound where you're running through, predefined spaces and you're shooting, fake people in your training course. But it was like, okay, so go over to the bench, pick up the gun. So pick up the gun. Now shoot this, shoot that, shoot this, shoot that. Okay, this is simple. Now press the right button on, press RB, hold the stick to the left, and then hold the stick to the right to select flashbang. And it wouldn't do it. And then I found out, I got how to do it. Okay, it's fine. Got how to do it. Then it's like, go through to another bit. And it's like, now use this periscope. So you change your gun to a periscope and you put the periscope up, in a little crack above a door. And then you're surveying who's inside. So then the idea is you kick the door open and you tell them to freeze or you shoot them or whatever like that. And I was playing this for about 45 minutes. And this is right. Now we're going to let you go alone. So now you've got your team, tell your team what to do. And so it says, we suggest you start with surveying the room first. So I put my periscope up and I just could not find how to get back to the gun. I'm pressing every bloody button on the controller going, how do I get a gun back up? And it's like, I've got my periscope. Now I've got my lockpick. And then I'm just like, do you know what? This really isn't for me. I can see myself getting really frustrated. So my character is still halfway through the arena. He's still halfway through his training. I turned the game off. I uninstalled it and I got a refund from Microsoft. Thank you very much.
I was just watching a YouTube video on this one because I have seen this around and I was like, is it the game that I think it is? And in theory, this game it really interests me because, like you say, it's almost like that. It's that what they call those thinking man shooters almost.
Yeah.
It's not your run and gun nonsense. It's a bit tactical. A little bit more to it, that sort of thing. And on paper, it does look like something that I'd really enjoy. But I remember watching this, or like early reviews or something. Because I think it came from PC, and some of like the controls didn't translate very well over to controller and that sort of thing. So I'm like, if it's a bit finicky, do you know what I mean? If it's not that easy to play and it's quite troublesome, and like you say, you have to think about it. I don't mind the tactical element, but then if I think, oh, I press this, not just a simple switch, flick of a button to change gun, reload, crouch, prone, flip between gadgets, that sort of thing.
It was almost bordering on, the special moves you used to get in Street Fighter and Tekken, press right 14 times, press up 50 times, press down 75 times, and then you unlock the Ken super finisher or something like that. Yeah. But it was just like, I potentially, if I hadn't got a refund for it, I might have gone in and played a couple of levels. There were a few people in the reviews that were raving about it and they were enjoying it. Maybe they had played it on PC. I'm not sure whether the reviews on Xbox are both PC and console with the same review structure. But no, not for me, that one. But the other one that I played, which I have really enjoyed, I mean, I've not played it since last weekend, but I lost about 4 hours last Sunday and I lost it in this game. And it's a game called Mini Shot Adventures. And it's one of those ones, again, it's in Game Pass. It's one of those ones which sort of like came up and I'm like, oh, do you know, that looks really quite interesting. And basically, it's a top-down shooter. You're a little sort of spaceship, and you basically fly through these zones, killing killing the bad people, unlocking areas. And it's just, it's, ah, it's satisfactory. It is basically just like, it's one of those games where it drip feeds you just enough to keep you going. And you sort of come into the first level and it's relatively easy. You fight some bosses. Then you get further and further and further, and then you open areas up, but you can't go into the area. For some reason, you can't go into the area. You don't know why. So you're like, okay, I can't get past that wall or that block or something like that, or I can't get past that boss. It's really hard. But so you go back and then you find something and you're like, oh, okay. So now if I've got this attachment, I can shoot those bricks out the way, for instance. So you almost go forward to then come back. And there are some crazy. I mean, I've taken some like screen recordings of it, and there are some crazy boss battles where you're just like, it's hard to explain, but I'll put it on the screen. But there was one where there's this big ship in the middle, and it's just firing a succession of bullets, and there's a pattern to it, and you've just got to learn the pattern to dodge the bullets. But you can only sort of shoot the ship from behind. You're basically shooting its ass. So you've got to wait till it turns around and then you shoot it. But it was, yeah. I mean, I think I jumped on it on Sunday. I think I've been playing it for about 2 hours, I think. And then on Sunday we had lunch as a family. We sat down and had lunch, and then everybody sort of dissipated and went off and did their own thing. And I just turned it on, and it must have been about, I don't know, 2 o'clock. And then before I knew it was 5:30. And it was just giving me enough to keep me going. And you're like, oh, I'll stop after this. But then you get the next gun level, and you're like, oh, okay, if I get the next gun level, or if I can shoot my guns quicker, or if I get that attachment which lets me do this, or I've unlocked that place on the map, and it just gets you going back and back and back. And it is a brilliant little game that, like Replace, works fantastic on a big screen. I've not played it on the ROG yet, but would work perfect on the ROG. I'm actually coming up your way ish next week. I'm up in Manchester for a few days, so I've got it sitting downstairs with my camera equipment, so I'm going to take the ROG with me to play in the Premier in the evenings with my feet up. But no, it's a really good game. I recommend it.
Yeah, I'm just watching a little clip of it here and someone playing it, and it does again a perfect game for, like you say, for the handheld market, or at least just for cloud gaming to an iPad or something. But it's like it's almost like old school Asteroid, but playing through levels and unlocking different areas, isn't it? And it's almost got that tilted Pokemon-y style camera angle, that Pokemon-y style vibe to it, and in terms of its appearance, a bit more bright colours, that sort of thing. But yeah, it just looks like something that I imagine probably gets quite frustrating by looking at it just getting wiped out by enemies. But yeah, just looking at this as like bits where, I can't quite reach that enemy yet, and then there's ones that are firing millions of bullets out and trying to dodge, and like you say, just figuring the pattern out and moving and evading and dodging and that sort of thing. So yeah, it looks like something I'd definitely give a go.
I think that's what's good. It's like, when I talk to Molly about gaming, whenever she gets into games, when she as a girl, she jumps in and out of quite a bit. But as I say to her, like with games like this, there's a pattern. You've just got to learn the pattern. And it will go over here and it will go over there, and or move this way, and it will just do things in a certain pattern. And you may die 5 or 6 times, but on the 7th time you'll learn the pattern. And I think that's what's good. You sort of you go into an area and you keep on going down this rabbit hole, literally, and then you get to one and you're like, oh, I'm not sure if I can kill that. Let's give it a go. And of course, you don't kill it, and it spawns you back at your base, and you're like, right, okay, I can't go there. So, you hit the map and you say, right, well, I've not been over there now. And there's one point I've got to, which is just quite pivotal, where you find a map fragment, and then what it will do is it will tell you where you've been and where you've not been. Also where you've unlocked or where you've not unlocked. So you'll see that there's a little tunnel down here that's not got a tick on it, so you've not completed it. So you're like, right, let me go back down there. And then all of a sudden you'll find a bush that you didn't realise that you can actually you can drive straight through or fly straight through.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, it's on Game Pass. It's a fantastic little game, and as I say, it's the sort of game that you could play on the train on the way up to or the way down to London on the ROG, or you can sit in front of your big ass TV and play it on your controller as well. It's a great game.
Yeah, and like I said, this is the beauty in it. This is the beauty. You get we keep getting drip fed these little games that otherwise you'd miss, and you're gonna find some gems amongst the ones that you don't enjoy. And when you do find them, it's nice that you got something that you can just sit and while away the hours.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. So right, so that's the gaming wrapped up for this week. So before we get on to the news, if you like us two waffling on about gaming and not getting onto the news for 48 minutes, if you like this podcast, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or leave a comment on our YouTube channel. We again have our sponsor of Surfshark this week. So at the moment they are doing, I think it's about 86% off of a VPN bundle for 2 years. So it's about £1.28 a month for 2 years, where you get industry leading VPN from Surfshark, meaning you get protected online, means you can game online protected, means you can watch Netflix from other countries, and you can protect your ID and identity online. So getting into the news, Stephen, the first story is with you, and surprise, surprise, it's about Game Pass.
Yes, exactly. It's more Xbox news. So yeah, we've
Shall I
got a
show
little
you my
snippet here,
Game
which
Pass tattoo?
yeah. I heart Microsoft. But yeah, I haven't seen any follow up for this actually. We got this rounded up before we were due to record on Wednesday, so I haven't seen anything come out following that actually. But it's is Game Pass too expensive? Which it seems to suggest the new CEO Asha Sharma does seemingly think that way, which a lot of people have come out and criticised the recent price increase, which we discussed on previous shows and also this show briefly about the price includes like Fortnite crew, that sort of thing now. Which if you use it great. Fortnite crew alone's a tenner. If you just get it through Epic Direct, is it Epic? Yeah, Epic. Yeah. So if you play Fortnite, it's worth it for the V Bucks and the Battle Pass and things. If not, we pay $22.99 here in the UK. It's quite expensive when you start thinking about it. It's quite steep for you do get a lot. You get the cloud streaming, you get the access to the catalog, that sort of thing. So, but considering where it was $14.99,
Yeah.
probably about a year or so ago, maybe, or maybe a little bit more. It has jumped a fair bit recently. But yeah, this internal memo that's leaked seems to suggest that Sharma does think that the current Game Pass model isn't the final one, and she is concerned that the price is too high. With the quote saying, "Short term Game Pass has become too expensive for players, so we need a better value equation. Long term, we will evolve Game Pass into a more flexible system, which will take time to test and learn around." So yeah, so again, this is clearly part of the big shake-up that she is going to instill and conduct as part of this sort of, well, not restructure, but obviously rebrand, refresh, whatever you want to call it, of the Xbox division. So again, somebody with a fresh set of eyes, might not be a bad thing. Because whilst Xbox Game Pass does bring a lot, it's premium. It's called premium, but it is premium, and it's tricky into what could they do differently. I've seen suggestions that maybe they would do a Game Pass that just includes the first party stuff. So however much that would be, would you say, well, give us a 12 quid a month, you just purely get our first party titles, you don't get EA, Ubisoft, all that. That would be quite an interesting model to go down, and you'd probably get a few people going for that. If you die hard Forza fans, Halo fans, Gears fans, those three alone, if you pay that a month, you've got a big catalogue of games there, um, beyond just the main three of their exclusives, I guess. But yeah, it's one of them into, what changes they'll bring about.
I think there was a few people that were sort of like suggesting that when the price went up recently, it was to compensate for the loss of sales or loss of revenue from COD. Because obviously, people
Mm.
like myself, people like Chesson, we were always buying COD every year, so we were happily spend £70, $80 or whatever it was on that every year. So obviously now we've got it as part of Game Pass. We're not spending that. Thankfully for last year, we didn't have to buy it because I would have really been annoyed if I bought it last year. Still haven't played it. Still
Yeah.
can't figure out how to bloody play it. But it is one of those ones which I think that it's. I think they're going to have to. I think there's a few. I'm hearing quite a few rumors going around. One of which is a like everybody's doing, which is a an advertising revenue based one. I did hear one the other
Mm.
day, which was that like for every 2.5 hours you play, you'll be shown an advert, or the loading screens at the front of the game will be replaced by an advert, or something like that. So, so for the people that like me, I've just finished Fortnite on Amazon Prime. I happily pay £2.99 to stop the adverts. Soon as I finish watching soon as I finished watching not Fortnite, what was it? Fallout. It's a Fallout. As soon
Hmm.
as I watching Fallout, I went off and cancelled my £2.99 because I don't use Prime that much, so I'm not worried about it. I think the other way a few people are saying that it could go is that it might be like a pick your own. So maybe you have a base price which includes one perk. So you pay £19.99 or £18.99 a month. Pounds, that is, obviously it's more expensive in dollars, and then you pick which perk you want. So do you want Fortnite Crew, or do you want EA, or do you want Ubisoft, or do you want Call of Duty? I suppose for me, I mean, I don't pay for my Game Pass anyway. And I think I've said on the pod before, if you've got a mobile phone contract out there and you're coming up for renewal, have a look around, because I know for me, my contract with EE, I get Game Pass for free, and I still get it for free. Well, no one's charged me for it, but I get it for free even at the new rate. So, if do have a shop around, if you've got anything that's coming up for renewal, because I think I had it on. Where did I have it before? Oh, I think I had it was BT broadband. So when I had my home broadband,
BT.
yeah, BT, it was for free as well. So, if you've got anything coming up, do have a shop around, see if you can get some vouchers, an Amazon voucher and things like that. But um, yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy paying my £22.99 a month. I use Game Pass more than I probably do any of my streaming services. Disney's just renewed at whatever it was, £99 a month. No, a year. But just for £99 a month, I think I would definitely give it up. But even though Daredevil's starting again, but £99 a year. But I find that hard to swallow because I'm not watching a massive amount on it. But it's in my opinion, it's a great service. Please don't get rid of it. Please
No.
just rearrange it so it's more affordable for people. And if people do want to just play a COD tier or a Fortnite tier or an EA tier, then, or a non-first party tier, just try and come up with a simple way. But even saying that doesn't make it sound simple.
No, and it depends how they do it though, because I still look at the PS Plus membership, and I haven't got it, and I never have. And I thought, oh, do you know what? I could really play. I think it was Resistance, like the Resistance games from like PS3. They're not in the back catalogue for
Right.
PS Plus, and it's like, well, with Xbox, you're getting a lot of back catalogue of like exclusives, which obviously is worth it. And it's like there's three tiers I think to PS Plus. All give you different things and different access to different parts. And then obviously if you've got the top one, the PS Portal, you can um, play without connecting to the console. You can stream directly to the unit. It just I think you've got to tread a fine line and a balance of don't make it too complicated, because people will end up signing up for the wrong thing. The kid at Christmas and I didn't want that
Yeah.
one, mum, and so it has to be clear of what they're getting. And I even for someone who knows games and a lot about the industry, I used to look at PS Plus and go, I don't know what I'd have, and I still don't think it's worth it. I think Game Pass is the better value one over PS Plus. It's subjective, of course it is, but I think, like say, adverts, everything's revenue stream. I get that, but it riles me that we're in a day and age where you pay to subscribe to an app. You have to pay some more to get rid of adverts. Like Prime, I pay Prime tenner a month. Why am I getting adverts? Like I'm not paying any more. Like I get a free Disney Plus membership with the adverts for my Sky subscription now. I accept that I'm getting it for free. I don't mind that. But when I'm paying for it, well, no, I'm paying you already. Like, and if it's like this now, well, I'm paying for Game Pass. Well, pay us a £3 or £4 more a month to get rid of adverts. I'm like, just can it? Just get rid of it because games are more interactive. I think with TV, like I think games are more interactive. Do you know what I mean? With if you put a plonking advert in somewhere pivotal, especially, like nah, I'm all right, mate. I'll jack it in. So like, say if it's before, after, in between, something like that, fine. But don't put advert breaks in it. Don't put advert breaks in games after certain times. No, that'll just no. I couldn't abide that.
There's two things I'll say on that. One is I've got in front of me now. I've got one, two, three, four. I've got six tabs on open on Safari for the new stories we're doing, and this isn't a name and shame because I understand that websites need to make money. So I've got Eurogamer, which has got a good amount of ads. It's got Pragmata ads all over it, but it's banner advertising, things like that. That's not bad whatsoever. I then go to IGN. IGN again, not so bad, but I know IGN has got a paid membership or a paid tier. I then go to the Metro, and there's bloody adverts and flashing pop-ups everywhere. I then go to Games Rant. Games Rant is exactly the same, not as bad as the Metro, but I've got adverts for a medical kit on here, and then something with Gemma Collins and Canva. I then go to Eurogamer again, and I've got I think I've got 5 or 6 open windows flashing at me, and then I go to PlayStation who have not got one advert. But so I understand, but it's just everything is just, there's so many adverts flashing in your psyche that I think you're right. You start to do something, it's like, yeah, no, can't be bothered. I mean, and I think it gets more annoying when you do something where you're paying for it. The whole thing we're going into now, which is like, I pay for Discovery and I still have to watch adverts. I pay
Hmm.
for X and I still, Prime, and I still have to watch adverts. So I get it. Everybody's got to make money. But yeah, I mean, please, I hope they don't bring an advertising tier in and they just basically bring in a low level tier, which is just, maybe the back catalogue and, games like the one I'm playing at the moment, something like that. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Time will tell, mate. Time will tell.
Right, so next story, getting on to something less ranty. So looking at the 2026 BAFTA Game Awards winners. So it turns out the BAFTA Awards, I think, were on last night, Friday night, as we record this. So the BAFTA Game Awards, this is from IGN's website with not very many adverts on it. So the BAFTA Gaming Awards saw a big win for Dispatch, Ghost of Yotai, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but there were some surprises in there too, in the true BAFTA style. Ghost of Yotai winning Best Music over Clair Obscur Expedition 33, for example, came as something of a shock. Daredevil star Charlie Cox didn't get a chance to big up the French motion capture performance behind the Clair Obscur's 33's game. But they did, Clair Obscur did win Best Game. So that's another collection for them to take back to France, only over the other side of the Channel Tunnel. So, Clair Obscur took home the BAFTA Best Game. BAFTA, Jenny English walked away with the BAFTA for performer in a leading role. The team behind Ark Raiders accepted Best Multiplayer Game. An incredible moment as the whole team behind No Man's Sky on stage accepted the Evolving Game Awards. And now that was amazing, considering that people were really angry with that game when it first came out. BAFTA for game design went to Blueprints. Atomfall got Best British Game. and there is a massive, massive long list of other winners. Um, Scrolling down it, yeah, music goes to Yotai, narrative Kingdom Come Deliverance. New intellectual property, South of Midnight, Compulsion Games. Now that, if you have got Game Pass, that was a bloody brilliant game. I love that game.
Yeah, and it's nice that we have this for the industry. Do you know what I mean? It's not a lot of people necessarily pay attention to it. I wouldn't expect, but it's nice that the devs and the publishers and whatever you're getting the time to shine in it. Really, do you know what I mean? There's some surprises, like you say, No Man's Sky evolving game. I mean, how long ago did that come out? That must have like 10 years, something like that.
Give me a
It
second.
must be. It must be around that time. I mean, I'm looking at the list that the category it was in. It's like Fallout 76 was in there, Hitman was in there. So there's some long term games in that category. Granted, it has to be for its obviously evolving game category, but No Man's Sky, that's a turnaround.
10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm going to say it had to be something.
Yeah.
But I remember like how much that got panned when it first come out.
August the 12th, 2016, worldwide. In North America was the 9th of August, 2016, that came out. So, yeah, 10 years.
I bet they didn't envisage it taking 10 years to win an award of that nature. I bet they thought they were on to something. I haven't gone back and touched it, I must admit, but it's nice that they're still getting recognised, though. All criticism and cynicism aside, it's nice that it's still getting recognised. That there is still something there for them. So yeah, it's good. It's good to see that it's still going on. Some unsurprising winners in there as well. But yeah, it's just a nice little thing for the industry to have.
Well, as I say, I go to one main award ceremony every year, and it's always, I love award ceremonies. This is one for our industry, and it's sort of where people are awarded, best cinema, best smart home, best this, most recognisable achievements, charity stuff, and it's always a good night for people. You always see people have a chat. One of my good friend Owen won best cinema under 50,000, I think it was last year, and it's always great. So actually, I can imagine there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of late nights and there's a lot of anxiety when it comes to game devs. So actually to then start to win stuff, especially for like No Man's Sky, which obviously has probably had a lot of sleepless nights. So yeah, it's great. It's great to see people winning, and it's great to see people enjoy themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. So next story is a new Metro 2039 was announced, and on Thursday, I think it was, there was a little first look of about 20 minutes into it, Steve, wasn't there?
Yeah, and it's a series that I quite like actually. I read the first novel, which accompanies and the first book. The first book is based on the first novel. I haven't read the other ones. I think there's two or three that have been translated now into English. So yeah, so it takes part in obviously fictional Russia, metro system, post nuclear apocalypse. Very much a survival horror game. There's very like factions, different bits and pieces which we know about, and then some supernatural elements as well. Some sort of demons, some monsters, that sort of thing. So we've in the territory now where the first three games have been re-released and remastered now, so you can go back and play them in better quality, better condition when they first came out. But Metro 2039 will be the fourth game in the series, which looks set to be the sort of the grittiest.
Darkest, I think, isn't it? They sort of say it's a very dark, sort of scary game.
Yeah, and it's quite a dark game anyway. Inevitably, in a sort of a post-apocalypse survival universe, it does cover some sort of challenging themes at times, and what it is to be human, and obviously being alone, venturing through these tunnels, and the supernatural things that are going on. I think in some ways, from what I saw, not that it's been inspired by it, but I think it's um, from the what's been going on in the in Eastern Europe and what have you. I think that's kind of been taken into consideration a little bit of well, we're treading the waters of this kind of happening at the moment. It's probably very unlikely, but again, it could be quite real. In this kind of way.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's going to be a bit more above ground in this as well as in the tunnels. You're going to get a lot of the tunnel stuff, which is the bread and butter, and obviously the very atmospheric bits and pieces. But you're going to get obviously some more time above ground as well to explore and see what life is like above on the surface following Apocalypse. So yeah, so this is scheduled to come out in winter, quotation marks, this year. So that could be obviously, anywhere from what sort of October time ish. Holiday season, I imagine, is probably when they're going to be looking at releasing this one. The early look from what we've seen, it looks really good. Actually, it's really really nice.
Oh, it's one of those games I wish they dropped because I was watching it going, oh, it's so. I mean, let's put it this way: I can't remember the last Metro game I played, so I the first one I watched it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait for this to come out. And I saw a few people reading the YouTube comments going, do you know what? Okay, some of the comments were a bit baity, but like. I'm looking forward to GTA, but I'm actually probably looking forward to this more. The a few comments were saying, and this for me is right up my street. So much so that I actually went off and downloaded Metro Exodus. I actually bought on Xbox at the moment. You could buy the last three. I think it is. I think they were remastered, but you could basically buy the last three Metro games for £5.99.
Which is an absolute steal.
Yeah, so I've downloaded Exodus, and I'm gonna go back and have a play of that when I've got a bit of time, because I'm just like, do you know what? Actually, this type of game is sort of something that Dead Space, the one that Josh Trabell was in. I can't remember the name of it now, but like that type of game where you're walking through a spaceship or you're walking through a dark environment or something like that. That's just sort of like, yeah. I mean, if anybody's listening to this or watching us, do flick over to Xbox and have a watch of it, because it is coming to PlayStation, it is coming to Steam, and it does look like a really, really interesting game. Also, hats off. It's pretty much all made in Ukraine, and it's been continued to be made throughout the war. And they are very, very passionate about that, and very, very passionate about the game. So, hats off to them, and I will certainly be playing this on day one without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like you say, it's one of them few games that's like, oh yeah, I will buy that. Because admitted there aren't probably many games that would make me do that. But having played the previous ones and enjoying the world and the universe so much, like yeah, that's got to be on the buy list, the wish list.
Definitely. So hopefully, yeah, winter this year. I mean, winter this year, blimey, we're gonna be GTA-ing, we're gonna be gearing, we're gonna be codding, and now we're gonna be Metroing, and probably some others that I've forgotten about. So I might need to take, rather than taking my usual 3 weeks off at Christmas, I might need to try and take 3 months off.
I'm going to say I might need to be doing a podcast every day at this rate.
Oh yeah, tell me about. Well, it's always as we joked with Anthony after doing the first one. It's almost like the next day after doing the podcast, you're like, oh bugger, that news, and we're going to see it probably not tomorrow because it's Sunday here tomorrow, but we're going to see that on Monday when something news is going to come out, but we're not podding till the week after or something like that. It's you can see why Kind of Funny and platforms like that do and yeah, so like Kind of Funny and that, and Giant Bomb do a daily show, because you can get away with doing a daily show sometimes with so much going on in gaming. There is also so much going on gaming, again with Xbox, in respects of new Xbox console updates is rolling out now. So I've always been an insider, but I sort of forget I'm an insider. So every now and again I jump in and download something and participate and do a survey. And what they have been doing recently is updating some of the stuff within the Xbox to the different levels of insiders. But it seems to be that this new sort of like rollout, this new sort of dashboard rollout is actually coming out sooner. So this story is from Games Rant with too many adverts. I'm going to keep this going now. Like my points, it's going to become a weekly feature.
I'm scrolling through it on my iPad. It's horrendous. It's so slow.
I can imagine on the iPad. I mean, I've got 6 adverts now as I scroll down from Fiverr to hospitality to something else. Oh, to Luna as well. Well, maybe it's listening to me. Okay, so let's go on to the news. Microsoft's latest update to its Xbox consoles is finally rolling out to all Xbox Series X and S's users after previously being offered to Xbox insiders. Whilst Xbox release consoles updates every month, many have been smaller patches recently and heavy focused on PC and cloud functions, with a few notable overhauls to the console experience. The last update brings several noteworthy changes to Series S and X consoles, particularly improvements to the interface and how players interact. So, a month after the features were offered to insiders, Xbox newest S and X updates have been slowly rolled out to users across both consoles. This update offers customizable guide colors, increased numbers of groups from 10 up to 10, which used to be as a 2-group maximum. It adds new profile badges to celebrate different milestones and compliments by Xbox players. Most notably, the update also adds new quick to resume features, allowing players to disable certain titles. A few handy features not previously outlined to Xbox insiders in the past month were also introduced. As part of the cloud system interface, Xbox has added more ways to gauge streaming quality. Specifically, users select resolution and quality indicators. And the new My Games tab now features a play history, allowing players to view their history without returning to the home screen. I've also noticed that they are doing things with quick resume. So, for instance, I'm not sure. I can't see it not being something that is built into it, but I can't quick resume Fortnite. Maybe because it's left a session. So if I play Fortnite and then I don't go back to the home screen and then go quick game, when I then go back into Fortnite, let's say a day later or whatever, it will never let me join a game. So I have to make sure I come out. So one thing they're letting you do now is saying, right, do not do quick resume on Fortnite. And then the other thing I saw the other day was about the achievements rollout, which was they're now allowing you to highlight games that you've got, like, 1,000 gamer score in, but they're also allowing you to hide games that maybe you played Bluey for 3 or 4 hours to unlock the 1,000 achievements, and you don't want people seeing that you've played Bluey. I don't know who I would be talking about then.
Yeah, it's nice that they're still doing these, little tweaks and improvements. And like you say, Fortnite's intermittent for me. Like, you can, but then it has to go back. So it depends. Again, I guess it depends if there's been an update, and obviously because it's external servers for Fortnite, that might have something to do with it. But yeah, it is nice that they still tweak things, because there are improvements that obviously can be made. And as we know historically from when the Xbox first launched, Microsoft didn't think of a lot of things that probably should have been there. So again, evolving over time, adapting over time, just making things look cleaner, fresher, give people, more customization options, just make their Xbox, the home screen their own, make it easier to access. Yeah, it's, I'm all for it. It's not a major overhaul, but again, it's just giving some nice little quality improvements that will make a difference to some people. Like you say, the online stuff, especially with the quick resume, well, don't do it. It's just a thing that it's on or off. Whereas this now, to be able to choose between which games doesn't do it, that's quite handy.
Yeah.
So again, it's someone's thought of that somewhere, or listen to feedback of, well, actually, it doesn't really work for this game. Can we just choose to turn it off? Well, yeah, you can. Great, excellent. Just little things like that. It's again, just if they listen, taking feedback on board, constantly looking at small ways they can improve, then, well, yeah, fair enough. Let them do it. It's just nice that they're still thinking about it, albeit that we know the next Xbox is coming. They are still focused in some capacity of making the current experience as good as they possibly can.
Well, I think it's sort of like, I would like to see, and I heard this from a few other people. I'd like to see something along the line of a platinum. So I would like to see I think it might have been Jez Corden or someone said that, when you've got that, when you look at your profile page on Xbox, and like, I mean, I think you've got it as well. You've got like your 20-year badge, and you've got the badges on your profile page. It would just be really cool if you got, unlocked every achievement in, Call of Duty or something like that, or every achievement in Gears of War. You've got a Gears of War design sort of like motif, like a little sticker that was maybe the cog of Gears of War, and that showed you. And if someone had hovered over it, it said that you've completed the last Gears of War and got 100% on it. And just, it would be nice to just sort of celebrate that a little bit, because I quite like hearing the rare achievements pop on on some of the games, but it would just be quite nice for, especially those people who really focus on achievements. I'm not so much bothered about them now. I've turned 200,000, but there are some simple games in there, I must say, which will get deleted. But there was, I did go through one Christmas, I think. Went through one Christmas. I think me and Anthony were having a competition of who could unlock the most achievements. I think I did 16,500 gamer points in the Christmas break or something like that. So, but yeah,
Just insane.
I've got an addiction problem to collecting things. Lucky it's not alcohol and
Addictive
drugs.
personality.
It's just addicted to buying technology, camera equipment, and saving up Microsoft points that, as James says, I will never spend because they're my babies. Right. So
even when you can.
Yeah, even when I can.
Can't prize them off you.
Well, exactly, because the I'm looking at the upgrades of Forza, which is like, I think £50, something like that, 50, £60, $70, $80. And I'm like, do I pay cold hard cash for that, or do I take the hit on the rewards? And I know I'm going to pay cold hard cash for it because I don't want to hit my rewards now. I'm definitely going for the next console with it. So, but the next story, talking about earning loads of money, is about GTA Online, and it's with you.
Yeah, so there were some hackers that got some information from Rockstar in relation to like GTA, Red Dead Redemption, that sort of thing, and they released it. Now, whilst there wasn't a lot in there for anything about GTA 6, anything really, not really dished any dirt, it did release a lot of financial information, which is shocking. Like, not like it's just the numbers in this are just ridiculous. So GTA Online allegedly, from this report, is still earning Rockstar around $1.3 million every day, every single day. Nearly 500 million in microtransactions alone,
Yeah.
which is just nuts. $1.3 million a day. Like, I know people are still playing GTA Online a lot, but to that extent, that is just bonkers. Like, that is just like silly money. Now, Red Dead Redemption's still earning them money. It's not earning them as much, needless to say, but it's still chipping in. I lost where it was now. I think they were still chipping in with maybe like 400,000-500,000 a year or something like that. So a nominal amount in comparison to GTA Online, but that is just ridiculous money, you know. And granted, GTA costs a lot to produce, to publish, to develop, to maintain, you know, online, and to even create it. You know, GTA 6, I dread to think what the development costs of that are going to be. But when you're making $1.3 million a day, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's just like, it doesn't really matter. It's just mental.
26.4 million a year Red Dead Online makes, compared to GTA's Online's just shy of 500 million, so 500 million. Yeah, it's nuts. And the majority of those transactions, I thought, was quite interesting, was the majority of those transactions are coming from PlayStation.
Yeah, I forgot to say that, yeah. Which, again, shows the big sway towards PlayStation and Sony, which I think we briefly touched on this last time, didn't we? Of who's going to get the more rights for GTA when it comes out, which obviously it went to PlayStation. It came out on PlayStation first, didn't it? So you'd think it would be with them, with Sony. But yeah, for a game that's what's that now? That's been on that we're on 360 PS3. We're on PS4, Xbox One. It's on PS5 and Series X. Again, that must be 13, 14 years old, something now, I want to say.
You're making me do a lot of searching tonight. So Grand Theft Auto was originally released... Sorry, Grand Theft Auto 5 was originally released on September the 17th, 2013 for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Yeah.
13 years ago.
It then went on to let's see if I get it out. So key release dates for the platform: PS3, Xbox 360 was 2023. Sorry, not 2023, 2013. PS4, Xbox One was the year later. So only just sort of brushed on the PS3, Xbox 360. PC was actually in 2015, and then with PS5, Xbox Series S and X in March 2022. So that's interesting. I didn't realise that. So it didn't come out on the next gen or current gen consoles till 2 years after they were launched.
Yeah, which, like say, it's just for a game that has been out on every recent console, been going for so long, to still be earning that money, like 1.3. I can't even get my head around it. Like that's just insane amounts. I've never really dabbled with GTA Online, I must admit. Um, but yeah, that yeah, I mean, obviously this is information that was obviously supposed to be private that they've dug up, but it gives a great indication, a bit of an insight, doesn't it, in terms of like the scale. If you get onto something like successful, like with GTA that Rockstar have, like obviously it could come crashing down. Obviously it could do, but that must be just there's some serious money floating around in that company for A, development costs, and B, recurrent revenue.
So to keep Anthony happy, I'm going to take this back to Fortnite. So daily revenue details for Fortnite. This is according to Gemini probably. So daily revenue details. Fortnite allegedly makes 2.74 million a day. With events like the Travis Scott event, that made allegedly 2.5 million in 24 hours. This equates to $1,900 per minute.
It's just it's and they had to cut back recently.
They had to get rid of 1,000 people because they weren't making 3 million a day. They were only making 2.7.
Which, like say, just when you think of again, it's a big beast. The servers, the maintenance, the development, the licenses. Obviously, the licenses are going to cost them a lot of money. But if you're earning just shy of $3 million a day, and you're still not making money, and having to make redundancies and cutbacks, like that's nuts. Like it's scary in some respects when you think about it, where gaming's going. The cost of things, development costs, maintenance costs, that sort of thing. It's a bit of a glimpse into the future. I'm like, like how much longer do we have before people like it's too expensive? We just can't make games of that scale anymore. And it's sad
It's
to think
getting
like
there.
that, but
It's getting
it's
there. I
getting
mean,
there, isn't it?
there's certain things that I'm looking at the moment where there's certain games I would like to buy at the moment, and I just can't justify it to myself of going, do you know what? I'm just not going to buy it. And I hate to say it, but Anthony's loving is it Mouse PI or something at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at that the other day, and I'll be the first to hold my hands up and go, it's stupid. But I looked at it and went, oh, it's not a Game Pass. It's £25. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll wait for it to come on Game Pass. And I know how bad that sounds because I want to spend £25 on it because I want to support the developer and all of that lot. But there is just a small part of me which is like, well, if I wait till Christmas or whatever like that, it might come on Game Pass. And I know that's wrong,
Yeah.
but that's how sometimes my brain works with it.
No, 100%. You're right. And like I said, I don't have PlayStation Plus, but I've got Game Pass and I've got Boomerang, the rental subscription
Yeah.
where you get discs in the post. It's not a physical game as far as I'm aware. It's just digital. So again, I can't rent it. I can't get it on Game Pass. And yeah, it's like again, it sounds incredibly tight and harsh. It's like, well, I didn't really want to spend that money on it. Do you know what I mean? Which is why I rent games, why I've got Game Pass. It's in that bundle.
Yeah.
I understand that some games or some months I'll pay my subscription. I won't rent a game. But because games cost 60, £70, well, as long as I've rented something in 6 or 7 months, I've not lost any money. And the months where I send it back and get a couple a month, well, again, I've got my money back from there. So yeah, I understand what you mean, and it does sound tight and it is harsh on the guys that are making these games because there's probably a lot of other people that also think that way that otherwise would have just sank however many notes on it and wouldn't even batted an eyelid once upon a time.
But on the flip side, there is also the benefit to it going on Game Pass where, people will try and buy it. And there's been many, many, many games that I've purchased, I've purchased DLC for, which has been a Game Pass game, which I never would have played. But I played it on Game Pass. I've loved it so much. I've gone, oh, there's some DLC for it. And I've instantly gone and bought the DLC for it. So,
Yeah.
so talking about Game Pass, but the blue version. So PlayStation Plus premium games for April. So we get some PlayStation news in there. And I'm going to have a notable mention about PlayStation in a minute because there was a video I watched the other day, which I'll discuss after this, which I think that any PlayStation fan should go and watch. It was really interesting. So this is on Sony's website, which has got no adverts on it. Oh, actually, hold on a second. Let's just go back to the last one. So last one, we were on Eurogamer's website, and whilst you were talking, there was 7 adverts on that website, all flipping and flopping at me. So we're going to the PlayStation blog. So this month's game. So this month's Burn Rubber Across Hawaii in Motorfest. The Crew Motorfest. Step into future far worlds of machines and mystery in Zero Dawn Remastered, and lead your club to victory in Football Manager 2026. So we've got PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium Games Catalogue. So the Crew Motorfest is on PS5 and PS4. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered on the same platforms. Football Manager 26 Console Edition on the PS5. Warriors Abyss is on PS5 and PS4. Squirrel with a Gun, which I've heard of before and I really want to go and play, which is PS5. One that this is a classic game which I played because of Game Pass, which was the casting of Frank Stone from the world of Dead by Daylight. So that's PS5. So that was a sort of like a horror, sort of like I'm trying to think of how I could. It was sort of like a story-based game where you're walking around, but it sort of did one little story, then would jump into another little story. But it was sort of like in the sort of like story of the Frank Stone character from the Dead by Daylight. But that was a really, really good game. I've not finished it, but that was just because something else came out. Monster Train is the next one on PS5. PS5 Platinum is Wild Arms 4 on PS5 and PS4. That's it. So yeah, I mean, there's some interesting games there. Football Manager games I'll never go into because I know I'll lose my life in it. Horizon I've played those. The Crew Motorfest, I hate to say it's not Forza, and so it would just be Forza, but definitely the casting of Frank Stone. That I really enjoyed that. That was one of those surprising ones that I quite enjoyed.
Again, I know you get this smattering with Xbox, and you get some bits that you think, yes, no, sort of thing. Yeah, I'd play that, and there's nothing in there that would make me subscribe. Do you know what I mean? That's the one thing I'd say. And you could say that there's probably months with Game Pass that are the same, but like you say, Football Manager, I played it back in day on the PC. I won't touch it on a console. I have no interest in it on a console. Horizon, played it, liked it, but again, that should have been there anyway. It's a Sony game. It's a PlayStation game. It should just be included in the back catalogue. You know, I'll die on this hill.
Is it not just there?
Yeah.
I thought it would just be there.
Yeah,
but yeah, obviously not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I say, I'll pin my clothes at my side. I'll die on this hill, like the Resistance games that I talked about before.
Yeah,
it's an exclusive. It's first party title. If you're subscribing to it, it should just be in the back catalogue.
Yeah.
It should be there. There's no excuses. Just like the Xbox stuff, it should be, and that's it. You know, like say Crew Motorfest, yep, I'd play it, but not really that interested. You know, apart from that, Squirrel with a Gun, again, it's just something that you probably something ridiculous, a bit like Goat Simulator or something that it's there.
Jump in, have a laugh, put it down. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want it to sound like it's just criticise Sony, and obviously we don't do any. You know, again, it's hard to have the big hitters, and I don't know how these other games are tied up with exclusive rights via Game Pass and blah blah blah. If Microsoft have got a bit of an exclusivity thing with a lot of games out there, so they've hoovered up a lot of the other bits and pieces. But yeah, it's if you've got it, great, you'll play them. But there's nothing that I'd be like, okay, should I play it? Should I subscribe to it? Probably leave it for now. You know, it'd take a lot for me to get rid of Game Pass to go, right, I'm going to jump on PS Plus Premium instead.
Well, I think your Forza is out. Actually, it's out in about a month as we record this, I think.
Imminently, yeah.
So it's that's day and date on Game Pass. Obviously, we've got Gears later, which is day and date. COD should be that unless it changes. But yeah, I think I've got no interest in joining PlayStation Plus or Premium. I mean, PlayStation is my exclusive console, and as I think I said on the last pod, if it wasn't for the fact that we were doing the pod, I probably would sell my PlayStation because I just don't
Mm.
play enough on it. Well, luckily you didn't because you had to go to your PlayStation yesterday for us to play Fortnite, because
Yeah,
your
yeah,
headphone
this is
wasn't
true.
working. Yeah, so but then I go back to driving somewhere, I can't remember what it was, and there was this whole conversation about will Sony ever let cross-platform games, and it's never going to happen, blah blah blah. And of course now I can play on the Xbox, you can play on the PS, and Anthony can play on a PC, and we can all play Fortnite together. That will never happen, but yeah,
No, never.
we can all play games together. No, my notable mention actually was I watched a Linus Tech Tips video this week. And they were, I think the video was called something along the lines of "We bought every PlayStation," and it was a video basically of them going through every PlayStation that's ever been made within reason, for like not
Mm.
like limited edition sort of like one-off things, but basically
Yeah.
from the OG, OG PS1 all the way up to the PS5 Pro. And it was a very, very interesting video. What I found really, really interesting was they compared a PS4 Pro. I think it was a PS4 Pro. It was either a PS4 or a PS4 Pro to a PS5 Pro. And they were both games they were playing, Horizon, I think it was. And although there was a noticeable difference between the PS4 and the PS5, the difference wasn't as much as you think it is in your mind.
Mm.
It was quite like we as gamers, we have this new shiny, got this new console coming out, excellent, excellent, excellent. It's going to be so much better, it's going to be so much this. But you actually looked at the iterations from the PS4 to the PS5 Pro, I think it was, and you looked at it and gone, do you know what, I can see why so many people have still got a PS4, because it's better, but it's like watching football, or it's like watching, sports in HD compared to 4K. I like my sports, but I don't like them enough to stop and watch them sometimes. So I subscribe to Sky Sports, but I won't pay for the 4K package or the HDR package, I think it
Mm.
is, or whatever. So I just watch them basically in standard. And yeah, when I then watch Amazon Prime or HBO Max and it's in 4K Ultra HD, it looks great, but it's not enough for me to spend that money on that additional upgrade. And it's just was a very, very interesting video, a bit of nostalgia there, but a very interesting video on just like, yeah, you can see why there's so many PS4s in the world still, and people are just not upgrading to PS5s because it's a jump, but it's not a significant jump.
No, and this kind of does make me think about PS6 and Helix, whatever they might look like, and how much better can it get? The last sort of big jump that we had was from standard definition to HD. The jump, like say, from HD to 4K is not as big. Going back from standard definitions, even just to 720p, was a huge jump. The clarity that gave was significant, and even the power from between original Xbox to 360 and even 360 to this, current generation of Xbox, and there was quite a big jump there. But as we get to, like a 1080p, 60 frames, 4K, 30 frames, then 60 frames, people aren't even mastering, like you said, PS4 Pro, PS5, PS5 Pro. We can't even get games to run 100% of the time at the highest level of performance. And again, I can't always tell the difference between something that's running at 30 frames to 60 frames.
Yeah,
Unless I'm paying attention, like driving games, I notice it more. Other games, I don't always notice it. I'll be the first to admit that. Again, you can sometimes see with 1080 to 4K because the detail, it's a bit clearer, it's a bit sharper, that sort of thing. But again, you have to look at it and concentrate on it to really tell a difference. HDR, again, you can notice a bit more difference because the colours pop and things. So again, that's a bit more noticeable. But how far can we push it? They like say it's all this photorealism and da da da. It's like people will probably forgo that. The graphics that we've got now are good enough. They have been for a while now. I would not begrudge if we said, right, it's now like graphics aren't going to get any better, but performance will. It'll be a bit sharper, it'll be smoother, your experience will be a bit better. Fine, I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? Again, we had this conversation about console and PC. If you want to do all that with PC and push it to the nth degree, that's fine. But with a console, at some point, you just have to accept that this is as much as we can do with a console, and we are probably there.
I think potentially where Microsoft are going may be the answer. I get the feeling it's almost like they're going back to the Xbox One in respects of trying to put more stuff on that console. So you're going to put Steam on it. You may be able to get into Battle.net and Epic and things like that on it. By maybe making it more PC based, it means that they might get some of those customers back they lost. But is a PC gamer going to buy an Xbox when they could buy an Xbox game on Steam even?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is it. Isn't it? Yeah, yeah. It's an interesting thing that we'll see how it plays out. But like I say, it's this constant push and push and push and push. It's like, well, we're all right as we are. Again, a new console, fine. If you want to bring in a slimmer version or upgraded version, it's bigger hard drive. Newer processor, chipped whatever.
Bigger memory,
Yeah,
that type
fine.
of thing,
Yeah,
storage. Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, that's it. It always happens. Well, fine, do that. But yeah, I don't see where it's going. Like you say, with TVs and stuff, there's still TVs that are channels that are showing in standard definition. They're not even full HD. So the fact that you're going into 4K, 8K, it's just mental, isn't it? You know what I mean? So yeah, but we will see. We will see.
Well, we could go on about this for ages. So, but that is going to be it for the pod. We are going to wrap this one up at 1 hour and 40 minutes as we are recording. I will try and trim it down. Yeah, so that's this week's podcast. Thank you for listening and or watching. Again, if you've enjoyed what you've listened to or watched, please rate, review, like, and subscribe on the platform you are looking at us on. Don't forget you keep up to date with on the website, which is gamersoflostspark.com. And you keep up to date with us on YouTube and social medias at Lost Spark Podcast, where you can go back and watch the last shows that me and Steve have done, plus loads before that we did as the old Sparks crew. Steve, we can find you on most platforms on the same gamer ID, which is great because I can remember it now, and I was looking for you the other day. What is that ID, my friend?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much SteakCarter91 everywhere. So that's Xbox, PlayStation, YouTube, Instagram. I've just restarted Twitch again, so hopefully I'll do some Twitch streaming, which is the same SteakCarter91. I've started a TikTok account, which I hope to do some short form videos, and I've had to do that SteakCarter1991, which is really annoying. Somebody had already beaten me to it. So either SteakCarter91, SteakCarter1991, you'll find me somewhere.
Is that your OnlyFans as well, SteakCarter91?
That's OnlyFans, yeah, my feet account. Yeah, that's for it as well, yeah.
Go and see sexy feet.
Exactly.
So for me, I am General Letdown on Xbox and PlayStation, and on social media, I am at Mr. Stuart Burgess. If you have anything to send or any comments or questions, you can also email us at hello@gamersoftheLostSpark.com. But thank you very much for this episode 180 of the podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. And Steve, thanks for spending your evening chatting to me.
No, you're very welcome. I might even see you shortly as we jump into Fortnite together again.
I'm not sure it's 8:45 now. I should be in bed in about 15 minutes.
We missed out. Yeah, we've missed the boat. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
Excellent, buddy. I will we'll catch up with you later.
Yeah, mate. Thank you.
Bye.